You'll have to excuse me. I've been sick for about a week and my voice isn't working very well, so I'm going to do my best here. Um, Question one was, why is his instructional approach developmentally appropriate for middle school students but not for elementary school students? While elementary school children are in what Erikson calls the industry versus inferiority stage, middle school students have moved into the identity versus role confusion stage. So they're able to think in a more abstract manner where they could identify with the moral dilemma of Flora and Charles, while elementary students would just see the story as just that, a story. On page 57 of the text, it states, quote, as children progress through middle childhood, their ways of thinking become less concrete and more abstract. End quote. The students in this video were able to discuss the content he was teaching because of this progression. As suggested in the video illustration about meeting a problem, they're able to use their imagination in sympathizing with the characters and move to questioning to collect information. Number two, how does he show he understands his students' readiness to engage in reflectivity? On page 60 of the text, reflectivity is defined as the tendency to think about what is going on in one's own mind and to study oneself. The teacher in the video shows that he understands his students are ready for this kind of thinking by essentially asking them to think that way. He guides them to come up with their own ideas, pose their own questions, and offer up informed decisions about the moral dilemma that they were discussing. Question three, what does he do to show his understanding of the student's stage of moral development? The teacher in the video allows students to think for themselves when he poses questions and allows them to do the talking. He also allows them to write on the board themselves instead of doing it for them or telling them what to write. He guides them to better questioning and information gathering instead of trying to get them to say what he wants to hear. On page 52 of the text, excuse me, in reference to Piaget's autonomous morality stage, it states that, quote, people may view what is right differently, end quote. By making it okay for students to voice their own opinions, the teacher in the video was showing that he realized this. Question four, why did he choose the story of Charles and Flora in the barn, and how does the use of the story affect students' moral reasoning? The story that the teacher told contained a moral dilemma, and that's why the teacher probably chose that one. According to Kohlberg, people move from the conventional level where rules seem to be governed by the group to the post-conventional level where values are defined in terms of the ethical view that one has chosen. Some adults never even moved to that level, but the teacher in the video posed the moral dilemma in order to offer his students the opportunity to solve a moral problem in their minds. And in this way, he was encouraging them to progress to the next level. Question five, what does he do that supports students' development of positive peer relationships and shows his understanding of his students' increasing dependence on their peers? On page 62 of the text, it states, as early adolescents strive to establish identities independent of their parents, they also look increasingly to their peers for security and social support. As the teacher in the video allows the students to work in groups after discussing it as a class, he shows an understanding of his students' increasing dependence on those peers. By spending time actually talking with the groups, he's monitoring them and making sure that what's happening in the group is a positive experience. And this is an example of his supporting the students' development of positive peer relationships. Thanks.